Today is October 3rd, 2015. Joining us on the porch are the cast of CNY Art Center's upcoming production of Oliver.
The best place for family. What are you waiting for? Where friendships run deeper. Come join us on the porch. So glad you're on the
porch. That's right, kids. You've made it to another exciting hour of On the Porch Radio Hour. It's a little more exciting today than usual because we are back at the Oswego Farmers Market. These people are pumped. So am I. I'm really pumped that there's even people here because it is cold. It is cold at the farmers market. And, you know, our guest today, I'm really excited about our guest today, and we were actually going to have a show without guests, but luckily it is cold, and we had a bunch of beggar kids out in the streets that were looking for food, and so we decided that we would get them and some of the other folks they were hanging out with and bring them up on stage and see if maybe they'd sing a number for us, and they're gonna, because they're from Oliver. So we've got the CNY Art Center production of Oliver. We've got the cast here up on this stage at the farmers market, and they're going to do a little number for us. And I originally met them, actually, they were looking for food, and I didn't realize that they were actually acting. I thought that they really needed some food. So I was like, listen, kids, I don't just hand food out. You know, I'm a hard-working guy. So you're going to have to work for me a little bit. And I kind of took them through the ringers and handed them shovels and picks, and I had some horse manure and stuff that they needed to shovel and, spread some hay and feed the animals. And, they kind of came out to the farm and they did some good work. And then I realized that they were all singing and in harmony, and I thought, wait a minute. These kids are pulling one over on me. But it was me that misunderstood. So I'm really glad that they, didn't just run away and that they're still hanging out. And they're all here, and they're all warm, right? Yeah. But they're going to dance and sing, and I'm really sad that this is a radio show because you're going to miss some really good dancing. I know, you're just dancing. This is a radio gig. I get to pretend that they're dancing and then tell you about it.
Be kind.
Yeah, man. People love us. Thanks. I don't even know who that was, but I love you too. All right. So, cast of Oliver, you're on the porch. I know, right? That was pretty awesome. Yeah, we can do another one. You're getting called up for an encore. Are you kidding me? Yeah. This crowd is brutal. They want more. Ow!
Hi.
Today's episode of On the Porch Radio Hour is brought to you by Seagull Food. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Seagull Food. And for all of you that live in Oswego, what's better than having a flock of seagulls surrounding you while you're trying to enjoy a picnic? That's right, you can buy a pound, 2 pounds, or 5 pounds of your favorite portion of Seagull Food and spread out your picnic blanket. Put a smile on that face, grab your umbrella, and feed those seagulls. Why, Seagull Food has ounces and ounces of nutrition. Not only do you get to hang out with the seagulls, but you know that you're giving them nothing but a nutritious snack. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. If you act now, you can even get a bag of Seagull Food for free along with a gumball dispenser. Just drop a coin in that slot, turn the knob, and get a handful of that tasty treat. No more will you be calling them flying rats. No, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be calling them your pets, your friends, and you'll be out feeding the seagulls daily. And everyone around you will love you for that. Why, even your friends will flock when they see you pull out that Seagull Food. So the next time you're walking around Oswego and you go through a crowd, just spread some of that Seagull Food on the ground and watch magic happen. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Seagull Food, where all other annoying things are sold. Back to the show.
What's happening in Central New York? The Oswego Music Hall holds an open mic hosted by Larry Hoyt on Friday, October 9th, and presents a concert with Lauren Berrigar and Mart Marzengarb on October 10th. Lauren and Mark will also host a guitar workshop prior to their performance that day. Visit oswegomusichall.org for more information. The Central New York Great Pumpkin Festival is this weekend at Washington Park in Oswego. There are vendors, rides, entertainment, and lots of pumpkins. Call 315-806-0215 for more information. Little Shop of Horrors runs at the CNY Playhouse from October 16th to the 31st. Visit cnyplayhouse.com for more information. 13th Hour Rising Haunted Hayride is Central New York's only professional haunted hayride. The fun begins on October 9th. For more information, visit 13thHourRising.com. Friends of Fort Ontario and CNY Ghost Hunters are teaming up to offer ghost tours at the fort this fall. On October 16th and 17th, you can join them. Call 315-343-4711 for more information. The CNY Arts Center is currently accepting submissions for the upcoming Hallows Eve exhibit. Artists may submit up to 4 pieces that celebrate the spirit of Halloween. The cast of Oliver is currently rehearsing and will take the stage at CNY Arts Center during the first 2 weekends in November. Tickets are on sale now. The Writers Cafe is a supportive group to share, network, and talk about current projects. The group meets the last Sunday of the month at the Arts Center, with the next session October 25th at 6 p.m. Visit cnyartscenter.com for more information. The Red Room sessions at the Wooden Apple Farmstead are a time for songwriters, musicians, and anyone else who wants to build their musical skill and knowledge to get together. We share songs we're working on, bounce musical ideas off of each other, and we usually have time to just play a little music. It's a supportive environment where all levels of songwriting and musical experience are welcome. The next session is October 25th at 6 p.m. For more information, visit Wooden Apple Farmstead on Facebook or call 315-591-0711.
Let's check in with our favorite comedian priest, Father O'Lafferty.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
Well, I'm sure it's not that bad.
You see, Father, I haven't been to church in a while.
Have you heard of the skunk that went to church?
Skunk, Father?
That's right. The skunk that went to church.
No, I haven't.
Well, he had to sit in his own pew.
That's Funny, sir, but I don't know how it fits with...
Ah, a good joke always fits, my dear.
I guess, but I came to see you about...
About being sick?
Sick? No, I would go to a doctor about being sick.
True, you would. You know why the cookie went to the doctor, right?
A cookie? Went to the doctor?
Yes. Do you know why?
No.
Because he felt crummy.
Oh, another joke.
That's right. I want you to try.
Me? Try a joke?
That's right. Again.
Okay. How about this one? What do you do if you're eaten by an elephant?
I'm not sure.
You run around and around and around until you're all pooped out.
Ha, yes. Elephant jokes. Here's one for you. Why does an elephant paint itself red?
I don't know. Why?
So they can hide in cherry trees.
Wait, have you ever seen an elephant in a cherry tree?
Sure have not. It's effective, isn't it?
Okay. Well, how do they get down from the cherry tree then?
I was just telling you a joke. It's to...
They climb onto a leaf and wait for fall.
Ha ha ha! Oh, you got me good there. Good one. Any more?
Sure. How do you keep a herd of elephants from charging?
Well, I don't suppose I know how.
You take away their credit cards.
Ah ha ha! I guess you do.
Can I try another?
I wish you would.
What did the hot dog say when it crossed the finish line?
What did it say?
I'm the wiener.
Ha ha ha! Are you feeling better?
Actually, I am. Can I tell you another?
I would love for you to save that joke and go tell the world. Spread the humor. This world needs more of that. But I will leave you with a little something I learned as a kid. I bought a wooden whistle, but it wouldn't whistle. So I bought a steel whistle, but it steel wouldn't whistle. So I bought a tin whistle. Now I tin whistle. And have a great day, my dear. All right. I want to welcome the director of the Oliver Show that was up here just a little while ago. Adam Schmidtman is working with the CNY Arts Center as the director of Oliver, right?
Yes, thank you.
Awesome, no problem.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's give Adam a warm welcome. Adam, how long have you... Yeah, warm, yeah. A warm welcome on today. That's
that would be nice.
Hard to do, I know, right? So, Adam, how long have you been working with the CNY Arts Center?
Oh, boy. I've been working with the CNY Arts Center since their production of Yes, Virginia, the musical.
Okay.
Which was, I want to say, 3 years ago?
Nice.
2012, I believe. They had asked me to be the stage manager.
Okay.
I was actually in a production with Oswego players, Once Upon a Mattress, and our choreographer, Amy Price, was working with the center at the time, and she said, the CNY Arts Center is looking for a stage manager. Would you be interested? And
Nice.
It was a new theater company, so I said, absolutely. I would love to see what it's all about, and I haven't left since.
Awesome.
So I stayed right there.
Yeah, the CNY Arts Center seems to do that.
It does.
It reels people in and then keeps them, which is
It does.
really cool.
And you want to stay there.
Yeah.
You don't want to leave. It's such a great environment to be in.
So true.
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing theater in general?
Myself performing, I've been in theater since high school. So actually my freshman year of high school, when I was 14, 15 years old, I started out with The Pajama Game. And I
Nice.
had done the musicals and a couple plays. I was more interested in the musicals, but the plays as well throughout high school. And I continued throughout from then until now, and I really haven't stopped. I've been in different theater companies in the area. I've been with Syracuse and Baldwinsville and Fulton, of course, Oswego, and it's been great. I love doing it.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah. And it shows, too. Now, I'm lucky enough to be working with you on Oliver as well, which is
Yes.
a ton of fun. Is it true, am I getting this right, that this is your first show as a director?
Well, I don't want to tell people that it's my first one, but yeah, it's my first one. It's my first one directing by myself, yes.
Right, okay.
I had been the assistant director for Amy Price on several shows with the CNY Arts Center.
Right.
And they had come to me and said, I think you're ready to direct one on your own. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, thank you for your confidence, but okay. So with the help of Amy Price and Nancy Fox, both mentoring me, I've been able to direct this one basically on my own.
Yeah.
And it's been fantastic. They've been a great help, and I've learned so much from them in other shows, but as well as this one especially. And they've really been my right and left hand
Yeah, right.
girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been great to have them on my team. And
Sure.
I have a fantastic team behind me with the entire staff and the cast. I mean, it's overall, I'm so lucky that this is my first directing experience.
Yeah.
You guys are making it the best one for me, so.
I think it's going really smoothly, and you seem very comfortable in your role, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to bring that up, because it's really cool to see you doing that, and I wouldn't have known unless you had told me that this was your
Thank you.
first director.
I really appreciate that. I mean, to be honest, sometimes I think to myself, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But then I'm glad it doesn't show anyway.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you guys are having fun, because that's really what it's all about. It's
Right.
about the cast and making sure you guys have a good time and making sure the audience loves the show as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's do the detail stuff, and then I'll ask you some more questions. So Oliver
Yes.
starts showing when?
It starts showing November 6th, 7th, and 8th, the first weekend in November. And the second weekend in November, the 13th, 14th, and 15th. The Friday and Saturday shows are at 7 p.m., and the Sunday matinees are at 3 p.m. Adult tickets are $12. Seniors and students are $10. And if you're lucky enough to be between the ages of 5 and 9, you can pay your age.
Nice.
And under 5 years old, they are free. So they can come see the
Nice.
show for free.
Oh, that's cool. So
Yeah.
it can be really easily done by a whole family.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's a family show, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really cool. It's really neat to see all the kids out there and the stuff that they're doing. And I know we got a little sample of that at the beginning of the show, but to see
Yep.
the whole cast together, all the kids working and doing their choreography stuff around the stage is just, it's going to be an awesome show.
Yeah, and they look like they're having so much fun. And they're already asking me what the next one is because they can't wait for the next one. And I'm
Right.
so glad that I can get them excited about doing theater. And one of my key responsibilities, I feel, is to inspire the next generation of theater
Right.
goers and theater actors and singers. So I love that I can do that for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the CNY Arts Center, especially the theater productions, are really doing all of what you're just saying. You know, I think it's really inspiring people. It's really motivating. It's exciting, and it's bringing people in. You know, every show has more and more people in the audience.
Absolutely. And then with that, they get to see the gallery and the artwork that happens there. There's great artwork from local artists.
Yeah.
And it's just great that you can combine all of the arts into one place. And the CNY Arts Center does a great job of doing that.
Yeah.
And they're really making it about the community. And it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And the changes that are happening every time that I go in there, you know, they're hanging new lights and they're doing new stuff with the stage. Like they're always upgrading.
Absolutely. And they're trying to make it better and better with each event that happens, and they're really doing that. I mean, they're growing so much so quick, and it's so great to see an organization like that be able to grow so quick.
Yeah, it really is. Would that be all right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we're in the middle of conversation here because the Artful Dodger showed up on the scene. He was a little late because he was out, you know, picking a pocket or two, which, you know,
That's right.
we don't usually encourage, but since it's part of his job in the show.
You've got to practice.
Yeah, that's right. You've got to practice.
That's right.
So we sent some folks walking around the farmer's market with handkerchiefs and wallets hanging out of their pockets, and his pockets are looking a little heavy. So I think he's doing a good job.
He is. He's
doing a
learning
good job.
very well.
Yeah, and on a day like today, you really need your nose rags.
That's right.
You know.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. So you might be able to sell those for a quick nickel. You know what I'm saying, Dodge? All right. So I think we're gonna try to bring them up and have the Artful Dodger and Oliver do a quick little number.
That would be awesome.
That'd be cool. Yeah. These are two talented young men, and I'm only slightly biased.
Yes. Now, why is that?
Yeah, you know. Having my son in the show is really exciting. Yeah?
I think they're ready.
Awesome. We're going to bring the Artful Dodger and Oliver up on stage. And I'm going to have them introduce themselves because it's way more fun that way. So we'll start with Dodger.
Hi, I play the Artful Dodger,
Oh, there we go.
and me and my little friend here are going to sing a song.
My name is Ruby, and I play Oliver, and we're gonna sing a song.
You ready? Consider yourself at home. Consider yourself one of the family. We've taken to you so strong. It's clear we're going to get along. Consider yourself well in. Consider yourself part of the furniture. There isn't a lot to spare. Who cares whatever we got, we share. If it's your chance to be, we should see some harder days. Empty lot of days, why grouse? Always a chance we'll meet somebody to foot the bill. Then the drinks are on the house. Consider yourself our mate. We don't want to have no fuss. For after some consideration we can state, consider yourself one of us. Consider yourself
Home.
Consider yourself
One of the family.
we've taken to you.
So strong.
It's clear we're going to get along. Consider yourself.
Well in.
Consider yourself
Part of the furniture.
There isn't a lot to spare. Who cares whatever we got, we share. Nobody tries to be la-di-da in uppity. There's a cup of tea for all. Only it's wise to be handy with a rolling pin when the landlord comes to call. Consider yourself our mate. We don't want to have no fuss. For after some consideration we can state, consider yourself one of us.
Awesome. I want to thank them again for coming up on stage and doing that. That was pretty sweet. So, Adam,
Yes.
where can folks learn about Oliver and the CNY Arts Center?
They can, first, if they're not able to go out to Fulton, they can go to the Art Center's website at www.cnyartscenter.com. You can also get tickets there. Or you can go to the Art Center itself in the Cayuga Community College Plaza in Fulton,
Nice.
right off from 481.
Cool. Thanks, Adam.
Absolutely.
Well, let me see. Is there anything else that we want to cover about the CNY Arts Center or the show Oliver?
Other than that, they are both fantastic. I can't think of anything else.
Yeah.
Go
I
check
agree.
them both out.
Yeah. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And the next time you're on the show, we'll have you next to a wood stove.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I would love that. Perfect.
Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. I'm going to bring On the Porch Radio Hour's music director, Gina Holsopple, up to stage. She's going to share a song. What song are you going to sing, G?
I'm going to sing Unless.
All right. Gina Holsopple.
He played politics like a game of chess. He the king and so I was the queen, I guess. I got sacrificed when the time was right. So I chose to get out of that game. And every time I have to make that choice, I'm by the water and she's singing my song. And I've got no choice but to start singing along. She sings, note after, wave after washes me over. Unless you're an ocean, unless you're an oak tree, what to do if you're just me, I really don't know. Unless you're a pirate, unless you're a cowboy, unless you're divine, what to do to be just fine, unless you're you. Who knows what to do? You're the golden sun, I'm the tag-along, I'm the vagabond. You said get out there, make them look at you. You said I'll be here, show what you can do. And every time I have to make that choice, I'm by the water and she's singing my song, and I've got no choice but to start singing along. She sings note after, wave after, washes me over. Unless you're an ocean, unless you're an oak tree, what to do if you're just me, I really don't know. Unless you're a pirate, unless you're a cowboy, unless you're divine, what to do to be just fine, unless you're you. Who knows what to do? Now my dreams, they're all learning how to crawl. They are grinning 'cause soon they'll be big and strong. And every time I have to make that choice, I'm by the water and she's singing my song, and I've got no choice but to start singing along. She sings note after, wave after, washes me over. Unless you're an ocean, unless you're an oak tree, what to do if you're just me, I really don't know. Unless you're a pirate, unless you're a cowboy, unless you're divine, what to do to be just fine, unless you're you. Who knows what to do? Now every time I have to make that choice, every time I have to make that choice, now every time you have to make that choice, choose to be you.
It was September 10th, 1982, when Christopher Running Bear was sitting at his kitchen table. And he was listening to one of his friends tell the story of how St. Patrick came to be so famous in Ireland. How St. Patrick had chased the snakes out of Ireland and was named a saint and became famous, and everybody started celebrating him on March 16th. And Christopher was sitting there listening to this story, not interrupting, really enjoying everything that his friend was telling him about his Irish heritage. And when his friend got done telling the story, Christopher said, "You know, we have a legend like that here in Tonkahogen as well." And his friend said, "Really?" Christopher said, "Yeah." And he sat back and he thought a long while. And he started telling about this invasive fish species that had taken over Lake Tonkahogen, and how it was eating all of the other fish and destroying their habitats. And he started telling the story about how his grandfather had caught one of these fish and had taken it home and had studied it. He dissected it, he checked to see what was in its stomach, and he tried to figure it out, but he couldn't. So he'd go back every day and he would fish, and he would catch more of these fish and more of these fish and more of these fish. And he was trying to study them and trying to figure out how they were reproducing and what they were eating and how they were getting there. And the story is that for years he just went on fishing and fishing and fishing. He became a master at catching these fish. And eventually he had fished them all out. And there were no more invasive fish in Lake Tonkahogen. Well, the Irish friend said, "My gosh, that is the most incredible thing. Is this documented anywhere?" And Christopher said, "No, it isn't." So they decided to open a few more pints and sit at the table and talk about how these things happen. You know, how does St. Patrick get into a position where he chases the snakes out of Ireland? And how does Christopher's grandfather get into a place where he catches all of the fish out of the lake and keeps these invasive fish from destroying the habitats and reclaiming the lake and letting its natural species thrive? Well, the more they got into the pints, the more they decided that they needed to do this again. They needed to find a cause. And what better cause than chasing the red squirrels out of Tonkahogan? Nobody had really experienced these invasive fish, but they experienced the red squirrels. And they were getting into everybody's barns, they were getting into everybody's feed, they were getting into people's houses and living in their attics. And so the great red squirrel chase of 1982 began. Now, invasive fish can be taken out of a lake because they're contained. But the real trick at trying to get rid of something like red squirrels is so much of a bigger task. Needless to say, the great red squirrel chase of 1982 only lasted a few weeks. Not because Christopher and his friend had found the ultimate way of chasing out all of the red squirrels, but because they were defeated. And the real defeat didn't come until they were in Christopher's neighbor's attic. And they were there, hiding out, watching all of these red squirrels running through the attic, burrowing into the insulation, piling up all sorts of things from the kitchen and the corners, bringing in leaves and dry grass from outside. And they watched, and they became amazed. And then they decided it was time. They were going to make their first move. And they were going to capture these red squirrels, and they were going to get rid of them. And so they had their blankets, and they had their boxes and their Tupperware and their tennis rackets, all of the things that you need, obviously, for catching red squirrels. And so they climbed up in between the studs in the ceiling, quietly, not rustling the insulation. And they got one, and then they got two, and then they got three. And pretty soon they'd caught 18 red squirrels in his friend's attic. But they had counted 19. And there was that one red squirrel that kept getting away. So they got all of 18 of those red squirrels out, put them in the back of Christopher's truck, and got them ready for deportation. But then the one squirrel. So they climbed up. And they climbed underneath the insulation, because that's how you camouflage yourself away from a red squirrel in the attic. You take on the camouflage of the surrounding environment. So you cover yourself in insulation. Fiberglass insulation, side note, does not work really well for camouflage. It itches. And now they're sweaty, hot, and itchy, with fiberglass insulation all stuck to their skin, but that red squirrel. And they had it cornered. And just as Christopher was about to make his move, and he dove square into a roofing nail that had come through the ceiling from the shingles on the roof. And it didn't just puncture his forehead, but it left a good 4-inch gash where he hit the nail and just kept going. Well, now there's blood and a cut and a need for stitches, and that squirrel was still free. So Christopher's friend dove with a tennis racket. And again, the roofing nails got in the way, and it caught the lip of the tennis racket, and the tennis racket stayed, but his hand kept going, and his hand came down and smashed onto one of the studs in the ceiling, and he was pretty sure that he broke his hand, but he was still going with his weak hand, crawling through the attic, digging through the insulation, scattering leaves and acorns and black walnuts that had all been gathered by these red squirrels, and he's throwing them and trying to get the red squirrel out. A week later, bruised, broken, and stitched back together, those two men sat back at Christopher's kitchen table. And they drew out blueprints inspired by the game Mousetrap. And they were going to build this gadget with hamster wheels and cheese and peanut butter. And they were going to capture this red squirrel if it was the last thing they did. By the time they got done, it had swinging pool balls. There was a bowling ball that they were going to roll down a pipe that they had cut in half. It acted as a channel. And the whole attic of Christopher's neighbor was set up. The next morning, they heard it go off. They had been sitting in the room below, and they heard everything going off. So they waited for it to be done. All the hamster wheels were done turning. The pool balls were done smashing into each other. The bowling ball had rolled what it sounded like safely to where it was supposed to go. So they climbed, peeking their heads so slowly through the little attic door. And sure enough, the whole trap had gone off without a hitch. Everything worked exactly as they had planned and engineered it to. But there sat the red squirrel, right on top of the bowling ball, with its hand over its mouth, and they couldn't tell if it was laughing or eating. But either way, it was looking them both right in the eye. And they both dove. Without ever saying a word to each other, they dove again and again and again. And the red squirrel just hopped from one thing to another. And there they lay, sweaty, broken, battered, stitched back together, and burning from fiberglass insulation. And in the corner, where all of those dead leaves and acorns were piled, that red squirrel just climbed over one of the hamster wheels, took one last little squeaky jog on it, and snuggled in to those leaves and acorns. And in a muffled chipmunk voice, they could hear, "This is my home. This is my only home. This is the only sacred ground that I have ever known. Should I stray in the dark night alone, rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden. Rock me, goddess, in the gentle arms of Eden."
Thank you to Gina, Matthew, Renee, On the Porch, Kinlow Dance Academy, the cast of Oliver. I'm Greg Mills with the Chamber. There's nobody here listening to me, but I'm going to talk anyways. Thank you, Sue. Next week, October 8th, marks the last week of our farmers market, but I don't know if I'll get this chance to do it next week, but the people that are here, the vendors, the farmers, we are so grateful. We're so thankful to have you here. This has been a great year and a great market. Next week is our last week. Come, spend money. Encourage these people to be back next year and bring their great produce and their great products. And we'll have more people, Gina, Matthew, Renee, and we'll have the greatest sound guy in the world, Nate Emmons, bringing his equipment. So when I do start talking, the world can hear me. We have a voice. Right. Have a great night. Thank you, everybody. Come again next week. Come again next year. Come again the year after. And see the great people that we have in this community.
That's right. Thank you, Greg. Thanks for being one of those great local folks. Greg Mills with the Greater Oswego Fulton Chamber of Commerce, doing a lot of hard work, bringing a lot of local folks to the farmers market and a lot of other things going on here in the community. So thanks, Greg. I also want to thank Nate Emmons at Just Push Play Productions, the sound guy. Yeah, sound guy for so many things. I get to work with Nate on another project as well that he's doing sound for. It's going to be really cool. I'm hoping that we can have some folks on the show for that too. So you'll hear more about that in the future. And that brings us to my special radio voice, because you've reached the end of another exciting hour of On the Porch Radio Hour. Thanks for being here at the Farmers Market. I'm so glad everybody's here. It's been a great time, and I'm a little sad that this is the second to last week of the Farmers Market. But I'm also a little happy, because when October turns the switch, man, it's like cold and stuff. So anyway, come back to the Farmers Market and come out to the Wooden Apple Farmstead and enjoy On the Porch Radio Hour. And until then, peace to your journey.
On the Porch is a production of the Wooden Apple Farmstead with host and writer Matthew Wood. Our sound technician is Nate Emmons. Our musical director is Gina Holsapple. Our stage manager is Ray Monet. This week's guests include Adam Schmidtman and the cast of CNY Art Center's production of Oliver. Find information about past shows, being on the porch, and much more online at ontheporch.weebly.com.